The fifth episode of Marvel Studios' Moon Knight revealed a lot about the titular superhero, answering questions regarding Marc Spector's family background as well as the origins of Marc's alter ego, Stephen Grant. Moon Knight Episode 5 picked up just where Moon Knight Episode 4 left off, with Marc and Stephen examining what appears to be a psychiatric facility. Marc's other persona, Stephen Grant, was created as a result of his connection with his mother following Randall's death in Moon Knight Episode 5. Dissociative Identity Disorder is a complicated psychiatric disorder thought to be produced by a psychological reaction to interpersonal and environmental stress. This reaction is considered to be more typical during the early years of life when trauma is more prone to disrupt personality development. This is what Moon Knight Episode 5 showed. Marc was a small toddler when his brother died, which would be enough to traumatize a young youngster. On top of that, Marc's mother's insistence that he was to blame, as well as the physical violence that came with his mother's anguish, drove him to construct Stephen in order to escape the trauma he couldn't avoid or get away from. Stephen's genesis was sparked by a scenario in Moon Knight Episode 5 in which Marc went to his room to avoid his mother's rage. Marc was sitting in the corner of his room, distraught, while his mother tried frantically to break down his door. Marc's struggle to deal with the reality of the small child's circumstances and his mother's behavior was evident in his insistence that the lady wasn't his mother. Marc was shown switching to the Stephen altar for the first time during this scenario, with a picture for the movie character Stephen Grant on the wall above him. Marc abruptly adopted a British accent, displaying conduct similar to Stephen's in Moon Knight thus far. Because Stephen believed his mother was alive and well until this episode, it was evident that Stephen's origins come from Marc's horrific recollections of his mother. Stephen, in addition to believing his mother was still alive, refused to acknowledge that she was emotionally and physically violent, demonstrating that Stephen was constructed by Marc to help him escape the horrific truth of his mother's conduct and actions against him. Many of the topics tackled in Moon Knight, particularly Episode 5, were far more realistic and grim in tone than those frequently portrayed in the MCU. The Marvel series on Disney Plus have done something that previous Marvel Studios films haven't. They've humanized their superhuman characters in ways that haven't been seen in the MCU until Avengers Endgame. The MCU is opening up its characters to be far more sympathetic and human than the projects of Phases 1 and 2 in particular, from WandaVision's examination of Wanda's grief over Vision's loss to Moon Knight's exploration of Marc's trauma and dissociative identity disorder. Even Loki's rebirth in his own TV program demonstrated how Disney Plus is being utilized to dive deeper into the psyches of Marvel's various characters. Moon Knight is creating not only a fun, Indiana Jones-style action-adventure but also a dynamic character study around what is quickly becoming one of Marvel's most interesting, and most importantly sympathetic, characters in recent years, by delving into the Spector family history and Stephen's origins. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. See you soon.